weekly football preview with Coach Giampa. Everybody, my name is Dean Packard. I am the principal of Bay Path, and this is one of the things I look forward to each week, talking to Coach Giampa about the previous week's game, and more importantly, talking about the opponent coming up on Friday night. Coach, how are you? How are things going?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much. Hey, listen, so again, the emotional roller coaster of coaching and the journey throughout a season is always fun stuff. You guys had a really exciting game up in Swampscott on Friday night. And, unfortunately, we turned up on the other side. But, I mean, you can't win every single game. It's about a journey. So let's talk a little bit about the MIA game that we had and against Swampscott and see, get your perspective on things.
Yeah, I was proud of the way our kids played. I thought we played really hard, against a very good team. I thought, the best team we've seen all year. Traveling out there was a lot of fun. I think our kids had a good time going out, taking part in that opportunity that they earned. And then, like you said, we just came up short. We got to play a little bit better than we did, especially when you get into those situations. You have to make sure that you are at the top of your game, and whether it was coaching or playing, we made some mistakes, which we have to fix and move on from. So I was excited. I was really proud of our kids. I thought to earn that opportunity, being probably outside of Division I, the most competitive division in Massachusetts in Division VI. I thought our kids handled it really well. They played really hard. I thought they did, the program proud. I thought they, did the community proud. I think, we talked about you really have nothing to hang their hats on. And we played a really good team. And when you play really good teams, you don't come out on top all the time. But, they showed they belonged. I think they showed that that's where they deserved to be and belonged to be. So I was really proud of the way that they played and they fought and competed right up until the end.
Yep. And, and again, we always circle back to the fact that we deal with kids and mindsets. And, to your point, the level of perfection and making sure that you don't make any mistakes that can shoot you in the foot. And that's part of growing. And that's part of, overall team's growth. And sitting where you are right now is still a really good place to be. And there's a lot to be proud of what you've accomplished so far. Let's turn the page a little bit and let's talk about preparation for this week. Coming off of losses as a head coach is always sometimes challenging to recoup the mindset of your players. And again, I've always said that kids are quick and they do forget things quickly, but it's a coach's responsibility to elevate that mindset and get them back on track. Talk a little bit about this week. How have you prepared your kids to rebound and get ready for the state vocational tournament?
Yeah, I mean, we just talked about, we know the kids are disappointed. We know that they, aren't, that's not the outcome they wanted. And they worked hard for that opportunity. I mean, that wasn't something that they lucked themselves into, or they just found themselves all of a sudden in a playoff game or anything like that. We played a tough schedule, especially at the beginning of the season. We played a tougher schedule than we have in a long time. And our kids have worked since December, in the weight room, almost across the board, to be in that situation. So we know it's disappointing. And you let the kids have that moments of, you let them, we don't want to run from disappointment. We want to make sure that kids can experience that, and understand how to deal with it. And then, like you said, ultimately, we got to get back to work now and move on. And we're fortunate is that as a Voc school, we still have, playoff games to play, starting this week in the vocational playoffs. So those are really important to us. Historically, those are really important to this school and all vocational schools across the state. So, we still have a job to do. We still have really important games to play, and we're right back into a championship mode where we still have a goal to achieve at the end of the season. And we talk about it all the time. Our standards up here are really high for football. And that's not for everybody, and that's not always fair, but that's when you work as hard as our kids do, and our kids are able to put ourselves and our program in a certain position. That's just the nature of it. So, we don't run from those standards. We run to those standards. So we want to make sure that we're ready to go. And in defending, what we've been able to do the past few seasons, but also with the understanding that, the last seasons don't carry over. And we have to be completely focused on what we're doing now in the first round of these playoffs.
Disappointment is temporary. We say that all the time. We work with kids. And at the end of the day, we want people to feel what it's like to not accomplish something, because that's part of life. Everything doesn't always work out perfectly. So, and I love that you get that in perspective and you work with the kids to understand that. There's no doubt in my mind that you'll have the kids ready to rally and do what they need to do coming into Friday night and into the rest of the season. So again, it's just been an incredible season across the board. So great stuff. Let's talk about Monty Tech as an opponent. How do you match up? I know you've seen them in the past, so talk a little bit about how that key matchup looks.
Yeah, I mean they've really in the second half of their season they've come on really strong. They have a running back quarterback who's really good. He makes a lot of plays for them. They put the ball in his hands and ask him to do a lot, and he answers the bell almost every week. This is an offense that since they've seen us has scored I think they've averaged about 43 points a game. So I mean they run what they run, but they run it very well. They're big up front. They're physical. They try to take it to you, and now we're in a playoff situation, so they're going to be motivated and ready to go. I'm sure they've got to come up here to us, so that's good for us, because again they're a team that, like I said, offensively they're explosive. They've scored. It's hard to score. I mean, it's hard to score 40 points a game unless you've ever played football or coached football. I mean, it sounds easy, and if you're playing video games it might be easy, but it's hard to score 40 points a game. And so the fact that they've done it to every opponent they've played, I think since they've played us, that's going to inspire a lot of confidence in them. That's what they're going to expect to do, and we've got to play outstanding on defense to make sure that doesn't happen. And offensively, they caused a lot of problems for us in the last game that we played. They, like I said, we're playing Vogue schools. They know us. They're not intimidated by us. So they do some things offensive or defensively that caused us a lot of problems. We didn't play particularly well in the last game against them. So we've got to play better. But that's what it comes down to every week. You got to keep getting better. If we have the same team that we had last week, then that's not good. So we've got to continue to get better and continue to improve every week. And, it's going to come down to execution on both sides of the ball, because they're a good team. And we've had some history in the Vogue playoffs, and I'm sure that they're going to be up here motivated and ready to go.
Yeah, so Friday night, 7:00 under the lights. Weather hopefully will be cooperative. It's not going to be too cold, but that doesn't matter. I don't think the kids feel the temperature when they're on the field, because I think the adrenaline starts pumping on that first snap and they get ready to go. Well, listen, Coach, we wish you the best of luck. You're going to have a band of people behind you guys, supporting you guys on Friday night. Any final words?
No, it's the same thing with the community behind us. It's, again, we're all, we got to put last week behind us, and we all have to move on to the next goal. We talked to the kids about, nobody's standards are higher for us than our own. So, I think it's important that we're here. We support the kids. People understand how impressive of a group this team is, how hard they work and what they do. And, the support from our crowd is always a big part of what goes into what we do. So, if we can get people up here on Friday night, I mean, we don't have too many more of these. That's the other thing. I mean, you don't want to miss too many more of these opportunities, because, you're going to wake up and this is going to all be over soon. So we want to make sure we get as many people up here as we can. It should be a great environment. It's a rivalry game. They're a Colonial League rival. They've been a rival for a long time. They always bring fans. When we played up there, it was packed. So hopefully, we can return the favor and have a packed crowd here. And like I said, our fans are great. They support our kids. So if we can get that behind our guys for hopefully the next few games, that would be outstanding.
True words have not been spoken, my friend. Great job with that. Hey, listen, there it is. Eye of the Tiger, Friday night, 7:00, first round of the vocational state football tournament. Hope to see you there supporting our kids. That's all we have today, guys. Go Baby.